In lesson 4.4, we're going to be looking at slope-intercept form. Now, the equation for slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b. Y is isolated, it's by itself. M is going to be your slope, so that's multiplying x. And the b is going to be your y-intercept. This could be a positive or a negative number. Now, if you have the slope and you have your y-intercept form, you're able to graph a line. So let's look at the first equation. It says find the slope and y-intercept. So we said your slope is multiplying x. So in this case, -5 is going to be your slope. We said the y-intercept is going to be a constant, right? It's either going to be added or subtracted. In this case, it's going to be a +6. So once you have those two things, you're going to be able to graph a line. So let's look at our steps. Step 1 says to make sure it's in slope-intercept form. Step 2 says to start with your y-intercept. So if the y-intercept is like +4, that's going to be on the y-axis, and that's going to be 0, 4. If your y-intercept was -4, it's going to be 0, -4, which also falls on the y-axis. All right, once you have that information, that's going to be your starting point. You then want to use your slope, and you're going to do the rise over run. So you want to do a vertical change first, followed by a horizontal change to get to your next point. Once you have 2 points, you are able to graph your line, and you're good to go. So let's look at the first example. First example says y is equal to 5x minus 2. So your slope is 5/3, and your y-intercept is -2. All right, so you want to start at -2, find it on the y-axis, which is right here. I'm just going to circle it so you guys can see that. And that's 0, -2, if you aren't able to identify it. And then you want to take your slope. It's +5 over +3. That means it's going 5 units up and 3 units to the right. All right, so let's start at this starting point. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, and then 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3, and that's your second point. Once you have your 2 points, you go ahead and draw your line, and you are good to go. That's all you have to do. Let's look at the second example. Y is equal to -2/5 x plus 4. So your slope here is -2/5. Usually when you have a negative fraction, you want to apply the negative to the numerator. And then your y-intercept is +4. So let's start at our y-intercept, which is +4. Find a +4 on your y-axis, which is right here. That's your starting point. Then your slope is -2/5. So it's going to be 2 units down, 5 units to the right. So let's count and see if we can get to our next point. 1, 2 units down, 5 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's our second point. Connect both of those using a line, and you are good to go for that one. Let's look at the last example, -3x plus 7. All right, so your slope is going to be -3, and your y-intercept is +7. All right, +7 y-intercept is going to be at 0, 7. Let's find it. It's right here. Okay, and your slope is -3. Now it has to be rise over run, so let's just add a 1 to it. It doesn't change the value. -3 means it's 3 units down. +1 means it's 1 unit to the right. So let's count. 1, 2, 3. 1 to the right. Here's our second point. Connect these and form a line. That's it for this topic.